Hi, my name is Andrew Begel, and I'm a new associate professor at the Institute for Software Research at Carnegie Mellon University. I'm not really new. I've spent the last 16 years of my career at Microsoft Research. And here at CMU, I'm working to build the socio-technical infrastructure that underpins inclusive technology workplaces. And I'm going to talk to you about that today. So let me tell you a story to demonstrate my vision. This is our office. This is Sarah on the left. Women like Sarah represent less than 25% of competing employees in technology. Sarah's also Hispanic, who make up 10% of the tech workforce, even though they're a much higher fraction of the US population. Now, Sarah knows if you want to build great software, you need the best talent. And if you don't have an inclusive workplace, you won't be able to attract and retain that talent. Then we know that 20% of the world's talent has some kind of disability. So Sarah first hired Jennifer uses a wheelchair and needs to be able to roll up to her workstation. Jennifer's adjustable desk accommodates her needs. Now, the more diversity we bring to the office, the better we can understand and address our customers' diverse needs. Sarah's next hire, Jack, is blind. He uses a screen reader to interact with his computer. Jack's an expert at ensuring web content accessibility guidelines are met for the web apps that their team creates. Now, we tend to adapt the architecture of the workplace according to the kind of work that needs to be done. While focus work happens at the individual desks, collaborative work might happen in, let's say, a conference room, or maybe by polling out questions in a radically co-located team room, or more quietly and perhaps more scalably by direct message like email or Teams or Slack or other communication tools. And even before COVID-19 arrived, some people had situational disabilities, such as Andrew with his new baby, and they needed to work from home. So remote collaboration tools have been the key to ensuring that these employees could successfully work with their teams from their own houses. Now, Sarah recognizes that some people she recruits have invisible disabilities, such as Jason, who's autistic. Unfortunately, societal stigma limits their acceptance for who they are, so no matter what they can bring to the table. So ensuring people like Jason can thrive on her team requires new kinds of recruiting, interviewing, and onboarding processes. It also requires education for coworkers to learn how to communicate and work most effectively with their neurodivergent colleagues. Jason's easily distracted in the team's open plan office, so Sarah offers him an experimental workstation that insulates him from the hustle and bustle at the work. This new technology protects his well-being and enables him to work his best, whether he's in the office or at home. So my goal overall is really to create workplaces where everyone can be successful. I think there are three pillars to an inclusive workplace. First, it's the place that you work, the work environment, the workstations, the offices, the furniture, the devices that you use. The second are the tools that you use to get your work done, such as the software or the collaboration tools. And the third is the team that you work with, the people on that team, the relationships you have with them, and the kind of communication you're able to engage with them to get your work done. Now, in computer science, our building materials of choice really typically focus on software. And that enables people to get their work done and communicate with each other. But really, to achieve real inclusion, I think my research is addressing all three of these pillars of the workplace in combination. So let's talk about some of those projects that make up my research. The first is something called mediated atmospheres. And we know that it's become very popular in the past few years for engineers to find themselves in, let's call them suboptimal open plan offices, which tend to increase distraction and stress and reduce engineers' ability to focus and be productive. So our solution insulates workers with an immersive workspace situated display, which shows calming natural vistas, such as like a babbling brook in the woods. And it envelops the user with that surrounding scene and with audio and video, and enables them to more reliably regulate their emotional states or reduce their stress level and improve their well-being while at work. Another project is something called facilitating inclusion through technology, or FIT. Now, we know that autistic people experience sensory and social information quite differently than neurotypical people, and this often leads to miscommunication, stigmatization, and discrimination in the workplace. Now, what we're building is called FIT. It's a video calling platform that enables speakers to express themselves more effectively and enables listeners to access their true meaning. So what we do is we apply linguistics to complex collaborative workplace interactions that we've watched and recorded, and we use machine learning and natural language processing to identify signals of common ground in these mixed neurotype conversations. And the issue is really where the conversations go bad, the common ground is lost. So what we try to do is then detect when this common ground is being lost in a conversation, and then we evaluate different interventions that we've created to recover that kind of common ground through UI that enables people to signal more explicitly their communication intent. Now, a third project that we're working on is called Intent, or Interactive Tool for Empathy and Neurotypicals. In this project, what we wanted to do is really flip the burden of accommodation from neurodivergent workers onto their neurotypical colleagues to help increase the empathy and support they have to work together. So Intent uses virtual reality to viscerally portray common workplace scenarios where sensory challenges create impediments to social, language, cognitive processing, and to mental health functioning, such as walking into a very crowded cafeteria with your coworkers, and you find that your autistic colleague might actually flinch from that and decide that they don't want to hang out with you for lunch anymore. If you really wanted to understand what's going on, you would realize that, oh, there's a lot of background noise. There's a lot of really crowded people. There's a lot of lights and smells and sounds that are just overwhelming to somebody with higher sensitivity to sensory information. So what we're trying to do here is use the virtual reality system to enable the non-autistic colleagues to be able to understand what are the different attributes that can be affected. How are you affected when you're entering a particular workplace scenario with a different kind of sensory sensitivity? And here we're evaluating improvements in understanding what the other person's experience is like, bias, trying to reduce bias, trying to increase empathy, and promote accommodating and accepting behaviors. Now, the final thing I want to talk about today is Collaboration Station. So here, we're trying to engage the entire educational pipeline to ensure that we can prepare and motivate autistic high school students to engage in future careers in software development. And this is through coding camps, game jams, and hackathons. And we've been running a coding camp for the last 3 years. And what we found is doing block-based programming online, because it's been during the pandemic, we've had lots of challenges enabling people to collaborate together into teams while working online on block-based programming environments. So we're building Collaboration Station to be that new online web-based co-editing Zoom-embedded programming environment that enables these students to work in teams of 2 or 3 or 4 to design, develop, and play video games while they're working in teams. And here we're looking for improvements in STEM knowledge, communication, and collaboration skills, which are explicitly taught, improvements in their self-efficacy, which means their self-confidence and their abilities to be computer programmers, as well as to work in teams, and improve their social skills. So I just want to say thank you very much for listening to this talk. I really want to convey that the importance of this mission, and I really hope that you and I can all work together to create inclusive technology workplaces.